I have all my ingredients here. I have my cake mix, my decorations, frosting, basically everything you need. And so let's begin, but before we start, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into this video. Okay, so I already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I am going to be adding the first part, because I'm making 2 tiers, so I'm using the first box for the first tier. So I'm going to be adding my ingredients. Okay, so I finished mixing all of my ingredients for the cake, so I'm going to be adding it into this tin. But first I'm going to spray so it doesn't stick, obviously. Okay, and now I'm going to pour the cake batter here. Okay, so now that I've finished making the first tier, I'm going to be making the second tier, basically putting the same ingredients in that I did for this one. Okay, so I just finished putting all my ingredients for my cakes, and so I'm going to be putting them in the oven for about 20 minutes. So we're going to check on them, but for now I'm going to put them in the oven. Okay, so now my cakes are ready. They're nice golden brown, and I'm going to be putting them on these trays so that they can cool off before I start frosting them. Almost. Okay. It's actually not that hot. Okay, so I'm gonna let these cool down for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be frosting. Okay, so as I'm waiting for my cakes to cool, I'm going to be creating a simple syrup just to make sure that the cakes stay moist. So the ingredients that I'll be using is just sugar and water. So I'm going to be adding, well, first let me turn on my stove. Turn it on. Okay. So I'm going to be adding 2 cups of sugar. Well, let me add the water first. Okay, so I actually recommend just using 1/4 of water and 1/4 of sugar for your simple syrup, because I made too much and I had a lot left over, so that's what I recommend. I have my 2 cups of water that I've measured. And then I'll be adding 2 cups of sugar. I need to add more sugar. Okay, I'm back with the sugar, so let me turn this down before my water evaporates. Okay, so 1 cup. And then I'll just be adding 1 more cup of sugar. This is a great way to make sure the cakes are moist while also enhancing the flavor that the sponge already has. And since I have a vanilla sponge cake, it will just make it pop more. So I'm just going to allow this to cook until it starts boiling, and then I'm going to add it to my cakes. Okay, so I've finished making my simple syrup, but before I add the syrup, I am going to cut the cake, but I'm using a serrated knife so that it's even as possible. So, yeah. I'm just going to add another layer, so I'm going to just cut it in the middle. So I'm going to put these to the side, and I'm just going to do the same thing to the other cake. So here we go again with cake number 2. I'm just going to gently cut across, and it will really help make the cake look even and more clean in a way. I was honestly really scared to do this, but it's actually turning out a lot better than I thought it would be. Definitely going to be probably another side of the cake. So for my simple syrup, I'll be adding this to the sponge cakes, and it'll just allow the cake to have some moisture and it won't be so dry. So I'm just going to poke some holes lightly using a fork, just so that the cake can sit up. Okay, so now I have my 4 layers that I cut, and I'm going to be adding the syrup. I'm just going to be poking a little bit so the syrup gets in, and so yeah. I'm just going to pour this lightly because I don't want to oversoak the cake. So I'm just being a little bit gentle. So I will be putting my cake on this very fancy glass platter. And before I put the cake on, I'm going to be putting a little bit of frosting in the middle so that the cake stays in place. So my choice of frosting that I'm using for my cake is cream cheese. I find it to be the best frosting to put on cake because it's just creamy and it's just different from just regular vanilla, in my opinion. I'm just going to be using my spatula to just put a little bit in the center so that when I place my cakes, it will stay still for the most part. So I'm going to be taking my first layer, just gently, because it's very fragile. I'm putting it here. Okay, first layer. I also got this special, I'm blanking on the name, but it helps smooth the frosting better. It's kind of like a spatula, but flatter. So I'm just going to be using some. I always find it helpful using the back part to spread it lightly, and you don't want to be forceful. So I've already started frosting the top, and now I'm going to be doing the sides. So I'm just gonna start off with a little bit of frosting because I don't want the cake to break. So I'm just being gentle. So for the last part of my cake, I will be decorating. So I went to Michael's and found these really cute sprinkles. They have like rainbows and clouds and stuff, and I thought, wow, this is so cute. And I also found these edible sparkle gel. I found like several colors. This is also from Michael's, and it was super cheap. So I definitely recommend going there if you want to bake a cake and want to add some really cool accents to your cake. So now I'm going to be adding some designs with these colors that I mentioned earlier. So I think I might add some sort of like caption. I'm not really sure what, but you guys will see at the end. Okay, so I finished designing my cake, and the title that I decided to put on my cake is La Vie en Rose. I probably didn't say that right, but it's French for life in pink, or like a beautiful life. And I've been recently feeling inspired by French culture, so I decided to put that on my cake, and I attempted to draw a flower, as you can see. And yeah, and the cake just pretty much represents like a colorful life, which is kind of what La Vie en Rose means. So, yep, this is my cake. Thank you so much for watching. I attempted to make a 4-layer cake, and although it doesn't look perfect, it looks pretty great for my first time making a cake by myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!